Then I said I will ever have a moment to explain in other words, in other way, what were happening, that your honors and Rabbi Buenos Aires say. On this day, a lot of things happened, and certainly still have been telling still more of this all, the ones that Adonai said, not in life, not in death, not ever. But the pardon of victims, United Evangelics, no. There were the rumors all around, but the false prophet gispat at ketash numatukavu an ataku, Ilyarmarasibrain. And its cycles, divunak, manavu, shadim. That with Osvaldo Carnival, Carlos Anacondia, Omar Cabrera, Juan Crudo, Cesar Castellanos, Bernardo Stemateas, and others, calling steel and tears for the mercy of the Lord, saying Lord doesn't condemnate, while for mercy and justice Adonai does. All over, especially them, that class. So in the middle of this all, through this saying that my people, mine, my generation, my friends, were all destroyed and murdered, for they were damaging, and it were the word, damaging the evangelic. I call them city of Sodom and Gomorrah, for the reason of what they do and what they give and what they are every day. And it's exactly that. Like it is on Torah, in Torah, in the reality I already gave. As they were, they are still. Is exactly the same. And telling they has the Lord, and the Lord is mercy and has the power. I'm gonna give you one thing more, like this degenerates are profaning, saying that they knows first. But profaning me like demons with this evangelics, united evangelics of hell, diablos, degenerados, about the reality of telling a certain class of a thing which will be Torah yalchli achskat rechtitza shle rechnan and kamtsuhu in ishlakza. The clear fact of this, whenever we read there, at the clear of the antichnans laatzi, which is really similar like Hebrew antique, but the clear fact here is the blerabachnumotuchluak, is the jalsva anrachtachim, delivered from this same language into admunuk achlu. Whenever we read that, we found certain description, and this description delivers into other class of things, which are they had the same customs like the times of Anshkeva, whenever Noah said to them, do not dare to touch Athalech diachet eshechat, that is veshech lachat kadosh te and sam. And watching that and reading in the Zeshevet Suatachlach Teshenum Putsachaida Anok and Suma, they went to producing arts of Anthlachti, watching like the Inshet Suba tellers Pekagag and Atzol, how to producing the benefit to taking for themselves, which it were never given, saying the faith of mine tells me like you were speaking, if you can have that Adon, I can have it as well. And I am gonna show you that I'm gonna be the Blefatz Mukuat. And in the middle of this all, at the same customs as them, they are the Rechlachtein, saying we have Eladon, and you are gonna obey us for the damaging our men and our women, that are our warriors in our cities, we are gonna give you the payment for. We are the authorities and we have the power. And Ramat Sabu an Achtlechtachish Ne'emabum an Akuv. And we are gonna say who is of Eladon and what will be Eladon. Through this, and in the middle of this reality, it is not confusion and nothing associated because of they are moving Sodoma and Gomorrah. They are producing and promoting the massive rapes and murder upon our people. Guillermo Horacio Praying wanted us to go and said, I'm coming to Jerusalem and I'm gonna explain there right now because of this is cheating them up. And this one cannot be known as he is, the delirous of he is, pretending I to be he. Daring to say that I were kind of a prostitute, said my mother, living for the please erections of Sodom and supposedly my friends, and making sacrificing on that, and saying that every time I had sex with one, I murdered them. At the reality of the fantasy of that demon degenerate, also saying that Lord gave him my spirit, that he had rights to taking my spirit and glorify, and said the advenimiento were the word of the Lord for him. My spirit profaned with its witches of Sodoma and Gomorrah. And Osvaldo Carnival have done the same. And making the war, saying the spirit belonged to them and not to me. Sodoma and Gomorrah city. And in the middle of the soul kept on making the same thing and using people to staging and lying, which after are gonna cave in by themselves to being murdered, for they do not lose, which always been doing. And this will be being a liar and being damaging to whom? Said my friends and them families were massively raped and murdered, with the 50 to Carnival and 50 to bring of all they had, even proper scars and chaps, arranging with prostituta Cristina Fernández de Kirchner. For that happened. The president said, you can obey. At the clear fact of because of they were damaging and destroying after said evangelics. That is the business of Sodom and Gomorrah, the lives of them. And United Evangelics, Sodom and Gomorrah City, lives of Sodom and Gomorrah, are the real Ernst be'enstachal chali be'inkauble be'subak anachnamat, are one each other maiden themselves. The clear fact of this is, keeps on telling the same thing and saying, take the spirit and show we have the spirit to make them come, strategizing to saying that they are going to give them in for being raped and murdered. And the sick degenerate Guillermo Horacio Praying were about to travel to Jerusalem for the making what normally were for. I'm going to give you Israelin and I'm going to keep the 50% of everything he stolen to us because of Lord said we own. Rata diabla degenerada. And in the middle of the soul turns to saying, Lord has mercy. Lord doesn't condemnate. I don't know what kind of a demon you were worshipping, but the reality is you never knew at all who really is the clear fact of the God himself between his name and his creation and everything as will he has. And you never knew no God at all except for demons. And what you were serving, United Evangelics, and what you are, with the burden of victims. So at the clear of this, And to keep on, I'm going to tell you something like Your Honor wanted to say, and wanted I to explain. Through the soul in a whole night of witchcraft, saying that Lord gave to Sodom and Gomorrah my spirit, my capacities, and my abilities, profaning me still and telling that I gave them and saying I signated them, and I were the whole night having and maintaining sex with the degenerates all around, and being with the porn assembled by Sodom and Gomorrah, and they saying expertise says they are federal police, they are government, and they doesn't lies, and the government as well with them. Tears to saying authorities put it by God in eminence, still tears, which no God put at them but the same hell. And the eminence of the hell is nothing like Adonai ever said to be, and won't. So at the reality of the soul, the clear of the degenerates that keeps on saying, every time I say Adonai, oh my God, saying, oh Diablo, degenerados, like dice. And doggy shit going to destroying people because if I say them what they are forever. Like an ironic way to say, oh, that's what you are going to. Muertos, degenerados. In the reality and clear for this, all brains, all carnivals, sick shit, Sodoma, Metropolitana, Prefectura, Federal, Gendarmería, all Sodoma rapists, all gender, all agent dogs, and chicken. Ay diablos. In the clear fact of the soul, to keep on making the same degenerations with the pardon of few, which are not them's, never were, and won't be. For the clear of this, my supposed temaching, I were for a long time pronouncing to Athali Hiatzahi Messianic the reality of certain things of Aladon. And there were this word which is the Lumbia. And it's a Kadosh. Sa'chil Ishk Atzi seal of Adonai, which were in my person, which united Zorras Evangelicas Diablas, were destroying to this to profane. The Lumbia is the Inshkidach Lahi di She'eshem, and it's in the Torah. You read Anrechmoto at the Hashem ba'en chachad ashleim. And Adonai says, and Adonai sealed Lumbia at Rechachi at Menorah for the reason of Emblechet Ishkechel Shrichini Achatzi, and the kingdom of heaven will ever glorify at the reality of Entleche Bespidia Chaltanim. And also where this term, which is the Inrovi and Tosuv, the core of the reality of the holy, which they were destroying as well, saying were things of demons, which they are demons. And making the plefech levechtiash kadach lachat, remo plefomua plechet eskachla, and giving the fresh renewal of the saint to Sodom and Gomorrah, which Adonai never gave and won't, neither I. So at the clear of this, the sickness Policía Federal Argentina started to saying that they had rights to doing whatever they wanted because of they are the police and they are government, of course. And made an comics on me. And saying the slogan of this comic, so, it's so great, of whore Christina Kirchner, saying that they had rights. That I were the supper whore, that at the days I were the supper holy, and at the nights I were the supper whore, the nymph, coming all over places to find out, and whenever the night to come, I used to saying, whenever found the supper phallus erects, in front of me, Lumbia, and made them business upon my life with this, destroying my person, the horse of them, and them Sodoma, making a business even to my genetics and my spirit, witches business, dispensers of demons for, with Evangelics United, Argentina, UNASUR, and this perras enfermas Kirchners giving them rights, saying they are governments and they commands, and perras Sodoma, Policía Federal Argentina, to be sold in the whole of the world like a fun thing. And the last one, but them own themselves still teared, saying that they have the showing me. Like all as osity of the ironic reality of a supper supposed holy, producing disasters and becoming like a bitter, pronouncing shit and all class of terms over saying, oh, because of the Lord commands and shit and around and all over, and some other, like styling Simpsons, the angry dad. So suddenly in the middle of this reality, it were happening like as this all were still, while destroys my life inside me and doesn't let me reach. And this perrada sucia, Sodom and Gomorrah city, United Evangelics, making the chances for this to be. I do not reach nothing from ICC, from justice bodies, from the nation I belong with, Israel, and from the nation I am with, US, and European states, which we were fighting so long, and destroying while South Africa, with certain other things which I am, it says Adonai, working about, and I with him, and much other. At the clear fact of this, even Russia, and at the reality of the soul, even some more, for I do never reach out the way out, and they are making the full business, saying that they have to be and not I, and murdering people for this. They were permanently making a business upon my person, and from the most disgusting hell shit telling that had rights, to the making me and making to everybody whatever they do choose, and they do determinate, they were polices, and they are rights to making, and they are governments, so whatever the shit that they do say and do, to be all okay, whatever I do putting them in the shit they are, offenses, of course. And still tears, which were sold 6 million of those elements upon the blood of us and upon my blood, which were around $86 million, with petition for more from some places, which you are going to see around here, and the before one, telling that I deserve this, zorras evangélicas del infierno, and zorras Kirchners, like always done, and this is the way to pay the damages and the debt at this country that they says I'm a prisoner still, and even that I own my life and my body to Argentina, which it is not Argentina, but whores and brothels Kirchners, officialism, and United Evangelics, and the whole perrada sucia, Sodoma-Gomorra, and tears. Recognizing me and still tears to calling to Israel, what's the matter to your royal for me? Insults our president and our evangelics and has problems with everybody and rise against the whole world. I'm going to tell you one thing. This lacra degenerada has the end that they deserve by my Adon and by me. And they are going to suffer the endless ever destruction in agony, in full, clear, characteristical reality of conscience that they are gonna ever wished to be in cancer for 1,000 years, suffering. Then done, just like done. Every one of them. Remot lefach lekias kalash kalacha chalbiyat samablecha lechishkilim. Ablefach lechidishkat achalam veat remot lechedeska chalat. I was suffering this for a lifetime, since my 5, and never stopped making. I had murdered of my nation Israel, peoples upon my backs, but this shit, and them legacies, and them ancestors, and the before ones, of them, since my 5, like I never imagined, and I can give you a number, for you to understand what I say. But the thing is, I'm gonna show to you all instead giving you numbers. The clear fact of this is the abominable excrement, Argentina, is gonna be where the excrement Adonai puts. And that is what's gonna happen with the ones that calls for mercy of the Lord as well, except victims. So the reality of this is, I have been in a lifetime under permanent destruction and machineries of Sodoma-Gomorrah, Peronchas Nazis, and whole Nazi officialism, Kirchners, since my father and the whole generation with them, Grand Whore, Evangelics, since my fire, and never happened no different. And never were no different. And that's the way they dies, recognizing I am the one I am, and understanding it is El Adon, and pretending to disguising whatever the delirious demons they are, saying that the Lord shown them at last they will become what they are of, beasts of the beast. That is the title sealed by El Adon, Bestias de la Bestia. Like Yeshua has, Adon atlech techachai atlish asi Adonim, El Adon, above the whole of pronounced and said it as non-put it as Adon in the whole of the creation, Adon above the whole Adonim, Lord above the whole as Lord being, as put it by the same God in person or the man or the demons, which are not lords. At the clear fact of LAUGHT, they are beasts of the beast. The beast above the whole of the beasts, Luciano Troviano, and these are the beasts, everyone. That is the no Mashiach. That is the Mashucha Mansulu. A goddamn demon. Luciano Troviano. Prime Minister still of the Vatican, who raised it. So the reality of Emblefe Chalachat Eshtla and Recham Emblefe Chaliki, the Skoblebe Chalchaninim, Inkoblebe Fuatzal, Kabeskobla Chaliki, Antlechemikia Blaska, the Skelpoa Halacham, Remoblefachilish Kalem. Gadbla Betchani Hilaka, Bespotla Machel Haniat, Reboplechebelefigia Kalekeshkuacham, Radblebechi Kades Potuachal Halikim, Remoblefechaliki Beskuachal Halikinim. And there's not gonna be trick or trick, and Adonai doesn't do that. Diablo degenerado. And no demon is no authority and doesn't commence a thing. Bestiam pharma. I am not gonna be that demon, and that demon is not gonna be me. Neither you. Roa plefecha lachibes kala kamach lachimi atashel. Reba flecha deskoa halachim batsela. So since my fight, I were suffering rises against the whole of the world. The world of the hell, which we never wanted. Betlofachu al-Hanatesh Glichimia Kaptuba Achashlek. Evgalachinim Ba'achalashel Abachaliki Machanav. And Adonai is going to do the job and putting orders and setting the justice and stamping truth and reality ever, and with the right of His power and glory, and the real His fire, He will consume the whole of the hell and finish the temp-crab. And as ever His commandment, the real God in person, to say to me and to the real of His name, Kadosh, 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 He is going to act for wording. And the ones that He put for Shalah. At the clear of the stays in Blevech Lachadish Kalachane Kamachalama. Relabat Lechabaspo Talacha Shal Kabachni Kibishwat Machalek. Ingemachala at Sebat. And dares to keep on doing and saying the same. Saying that has rights and are who commands. And keeps on profaning me, saying that they are putting the gods in the diablos degenerados, and what is not going to happen, them shit in me. Forgive me the words. Perdona Adonai. So we are through this. HTTPS www. Secretos de Sumario UNASUR. Evangelistas Unidos Argentina UNASUR. Seguridad Internacional Consejo de Seguridad UNASUR. Policía Federal Argentina Gendarmería Nacional. CIDE Metropolitana. Policía de Seguridad Aeroportuaria. Prefectura Naval Argentina. Consejo de Inteligencia Militar Argentino. Consejo Presidencia Argentina Nacional, Consejo Ministro del Interior Argentino, Religiones, Credos, Estados y Culturas Étnicas. Gobierno Mundial, UDMTDRB, IDNC, Middle, EDRMCPP, the AXTIC, the command, Middle, Sonkel, DMC 885, command, Middle, Sys, Middle, Imbilic, UI, I, MBB, UI, I, LLEHC, 113.10T, HTTPS www, DRMCBODRMCRDCXTD, MDR, Middle. They think they are government of the world. They think they are going to be the Elia and the Elia. They think they are going to possess the heaven, but profanation, witchcraft, and degenerates, using profanely the things like Adonai never came for, and proclaiming themselves for the reason of they consider they will be the authorities and the power and the commanders, but the any class of a degeneration like the ancient Ban Huwa and Alum, like it's written at the Klech Tevechlach at the Torah, in the phonetic Hebrew, middle BBMDD, middle Sinkel, middle Sis, middle IME. IMMED 113.int. The two of this in F1 or F tactisch Batledechli and the systems of Butler will be 26. So for you to having the completeness around this will be F7 or F9 will work as well. You are going to have the most. A couple of things are going to really work only with International Criminal Court. Your runners are going to brief justice bodies in the world, even the state of Israel and US. This is Systems Recall, the last BLYTT, I says in New York, for the ones in justice bodies as governments and with International Criminal Court, and the last key and cleaner my side will deliver the same. The only thing I ask you, like always done, please be careful with the hunting on the nets. And this is Sunday, 18th, 2014, at this January 2015, forgive me. Sunday 18th at 10:05 here in Buenos Aires, 2015, forgive me please. And I'm recording with my Android, which is being hacked as well, with no SIM, not Bluetooth on, not Wi-Fi on, and nothing like except the satellite chip with connected about the device in space directly with your runners in ISIS in New York, which it is not the role of sick grand whore, because of the prophet didn't see a rolio in the space. the false prophets, the deliverers demons. The prophet saw the Adgala Kachatashu, royal voicer, with the role to extend and reading the will of the supposed Melech, for there to supposedly be addiction accomplished. So every satellite, as we know, even the Hubble has the panels, solar panels, that doesn't exist like a rolio. And the prophet wouldn't say the rolio for no symbolism whenever Adonai is there, if there will be a satellite. Adonai is not telling things to confusing and not symbolism to, oh, the Ruach Elohim, the Spirit of God to reveal you. To the world to saying a satellite is a rolio, while the most of the satellites we use are cubes, maybe some spherics, maybe some cylindric, over panels, 8 and 16 panels solar, are like pallets, all one side to side and another, for the sun to give the energy for there to work. And there is no rolio. And different forms around the reality of devices to work. At the towers, with cubes, with spheres on top, and under canyons for whatever this to be, which we were using, and not rolios, which only one were completely all around cylindric. The panels, like shilling, but never worked for the energy absorbed on that same surface and polygonal, they're said, which is geometrical way, Osku and Pastklev at the designing never worked. So there needed more surface, and the surface exposed at the ray of the sun in the space were not enough for the energy this needed. So never worked. And in the middle of this reality, satellitely, in the chipset only fitting, but the same United Nations and Eurorunners in ISIS in New York and justice bodies, Israel and US governments, to taking this video that they are going to publish about 10:08 Buenos Aires hour local. I am Alejandro Blanco REDEMI, and in my address where I slept the whole night under the spell of the degeneration saying that they gotta be me and Norai, and destroying our people and kidnapping, mutilating, raping, murdering all around, for they says they gotta do to me. With United Evangelics helping that happen, except for the victims, which I'm sorry.